If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
Question they're raising, what's crossing the line when it comes to religion and with schools?
Right now, Knox County is testing out a state-approved Bible release program. It's already active in some counties around East Tennessee. It excuses kids to leave school property for an hour to attend a religious or moral course as long as they get the parents' permission. Some Knox County school board members tell us the superintendent gave the thumbs up to test this at Sturkey Elementary. Gwendolyn Ducree shows us why some are calling this a loophole around the separation of church and state.
For years, laws have kept religion from students walking these halls, but one Tennessee law bringing students to the Bible.
Release time programming has existed in our country for over 100 years.
Tim Rogers with the Elgin Foundation helps East Tennessee County Schools design a Bible release program.
We just educate churches and schools in the legalities of it. We ask schools to just simply accommodate parents who would like to participate in that.
Rogers says it's legal because the Bible doesn't make its way into the schools.
They, by law, cannot endorse it, and they cannot spend any money on it. All they can do is choose whether or not to have a policy that regulates it.
Now, this is sparking questions whether any group is able to pull students out. There's a list of regulations, so it's not easy, but this group on Facebook claiming to be a satanic children's ministry in Knoxville challenging this. A spokesperson declined to go on camera saying it's for safety reasons, but did answer our questions. First, we wanted to know what would they teach. Their answer? Our goal is to teach children the empathy, compassion, and kindness. We initially thought we would just be signing out our own children with this program, but amid the outrage, we have learned the interest in our program extends beyond our families. They also say they believe church and state should be separate, but if the school board adopts a policy, they'll move forward. Parents picking up students told us they heard about the release program and think it can be positive. Some saying they didn't want the satanic ministry, but did get their point. In Knox County, Gwendolyn Ducree, WVLT News.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Well, as you heard in the opening, this isn't something that's new. If you're new to my channel, it might be new to you. But if you have been listening to my channel for a while, the Satanic Temple a few years ago started this thing called After School Satan. It never took off. I called a bunch of the schools. They said that they weren't allowing it to be in there, even though the Satanic Temple was saying that they will be in there, and they were giving out actual schools that they were participating in. It never actually came about. Now, this isn't affiliated, apparently, with the Satanic Temple, but it's a very similar tactic that's being used by this group called the Satanic Children's Ministry of Knoxville. I mean, did you ever think you'd be alive to see a day where there's something called the Satanic Children's Ministry? Absolutely appalling. But what they do is whenever there's anything allowed with Christianity, they always try to use this religious freedom type of thing. Oh, well, you know, church versus state, and they get involved. Nothing ever gets talked about of what they would teach, they would teach children the satanic teachings or any of this stuff. I've shown you the coloring books in the past that the Satanic Temple had planned to use. All these, what do you call it? Connect the dots, make the pentagram, color in the Baphomet. I mean, ridiculous stuff. This is a press release from the Satanic Children's Ministry because of the fact that they're having this Bible release program where they're actually, because you're not allowed to teach anything from Scripture, anything from the Bible, anything about God in the public school system. They're allowing kids to have a release program. A lot of schools have certain release programs. They have work release. People, kids in high school, if they have a job, can get a work release, I believe, in their senior year. And this is just something where they can learn about Scripture off of the school campus. But this is what the Satanic Children's Ministry has to say. They said they're a collective of Satanists in and around Knoxville. They said, we are not affiliated with any other satanic organization located in the U.S. or elsewhere. So that pretty much means they're not affiliated with the Satanic Temple. or the Church of Satan. They said, our aim is to combat proselytizing in the classrooms through programs such as the Elgin Foundation and the Church of Stretchy Hills recently introduced Bible release time. We feel that in order to reinforce a strong satanic upbringing for our children, we need a similar program in place for them. I mean, this is a total joke. It really is. Elgin Foundation and the church will broadcast that their program is opt-in and children do not have to attend. They do not announce that their goals are to promote proselytization in our public classrooms by teaching the children to do this for them. This is a major element of their program. They will send the kids back with toys, candy, and propaganda to help them achieve these goals. This creates problems in the classroom, not just for us as Satanists, but also as any Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, or atheist child in the classroom, as the children involved in Bible release time are taught to challenge the beliefs of their classmates and promote that their God is the one true God, which is true. Our God is the one true God. We do not send our children to schools to be converted by outside religious organizations. We send them to get a state-approved education. Now, so here's the big problem with this. This whole, church and state, religion and state, separation, okay, and not being allowed to teach scripture and stuff in school, having Bibles banned from school, is the fact that the Satanists they're like, oh, okay, well, we're going to attack this because we're going to pretend to be a political group. They pretend that what they believe in is atheism, and then, they push all this other stuff like, women's rights, all the agendas that you see going on. People don't understand what these people actually practice. They tell you that they're going off of the Satanic Bible, Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible, which is a cookie cutter book of works that is there and in place to serve as the deflector whenever somebody's talking about Satanism. They're like, oh, look, this is a Satanic Bible. This is what they teach. They don't ever mention Crowley. They don't ever mention black magic or any of that other stuff, or sex magic and these teachings that they follow. They just use they use the one book as a deflection because inside that book, it says, oh, we don't believe in Satan as a real thing, and God as a real thing, and everybody buys into it. If people only knew what they really practiced and what they really believed and what they really did, then they would be pissed off about this and them going after kids. But the fact that they go, well, look, this is all we're teaching is this stuff, and we're just trying to, show people that there's equality in America. And people are like, oh, okay. Like the person that was interviewed, they said, oh, yeah, we interviewed some parents and they said, oh, it does make sense, their argument. Does it make sense when you find out what Satanists really are about and what they're really indoctrinating people with here? Now, I'm not saying that this group or any other group would take these kids and put them right into the fold. But once they slowly start getting indoctrinated with black magic and the arts and the occult and all that stuff, it's a gateway into more and deeper, as they grow and get older, into wanting to go deeper into the occult, into Freemasonry, into secret society. So it's a total joke. This is how they get away with it, by using the Satanic Bible and these other things and saying, oh, we're just using it as expression. Since Satanic Children's Ministry would prefer not to introduce their own program, they say, we do believe in a separation of church and state. However, if another religion is allowed to introduce a program to indoctrinate children, we feel we need to step up and ensure our children have their own program to attend. First of all, this is an opt-in Bible release situation where parents should be allowed to have their children, if they want them to learn more about the Bible, be able to do this. It's not happening on a school campus. They said their preferred outcome is that all parents of Knoxville realize the importance of keeping religion out of public schools completely. Many parents do not wish to have our children returning to school with materials that could counteract their religious teaching, and we do not want their children to do so either. It is the best interest for all children to keep these programs out of schools altogether, and in homes and churches where they belong. They create divisiveness among students based on their religion, creating conditions that are optimal for bullying. All right, and of course, that's what this is all about. Bullying, removing Christianity. Remember, we're looked at as the big bullies because God, we follow God's laws, God's rules, God's view, and what's right and what's wrong. These people there is no wrong. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. This is going to be a constant thing. And again, this is what satanic organizations do. Anytime there is anything going on involving Christianity, whether it's, protests outside an abortion clinic, the Satanists will show up. Whether it's they put the Ten Commandments up outside of a city hall or somewhere in somebody's town, well, then they feel that they should have the Baphomet there. So they get a big cargo ship or whatever they do, and they roll the big-breasted goat out and they shove it in front of Congress. And they go, look, it's only fair. And everybody goes along with it. This is just the same with the city council meetings that I've covered over the years. Right? They do the invocations there. Because if they pray and they say the word God, then they should be allowed to hail Satan, right? And everybody thinks this is some political stance that they're making. This is an indoctrination that's occurring. So I'll keep an eye on this, keep people posted. I mean, you can see the ridiculous pictures, with the mini Baphomet, the child Baphomet. But again, remember, they don't worship they don't worship Satan. They're atheists. But they just, here's just a picture of a child goat doing the as above, so below. I mean, it's a total. I mean, you have to be really stupid to be tricked by these people. And the reason that these people don't mess with me anymore is because they know there's no. They need Christians who are going to be like freaking out over the nonsense that they're doing without making rational sense of what these people really are doing, with the deflecting, with what they really do and worship and believe, and why they target these specific agendas: feminism, the abortions, people who claim to be victims of satanic ritual abuse, right? That's what they do. They do it because they follow the teachings of Crowley, and that's the bottom line. These people are not who they say they are. They are liars just like their father. But they're going to continue to brainwash society because we live in the dumbest period of time ever. And social engineering is working at an all-time high where, I mean, it's just, you could just forget it. Social engineering, I mean, they have gotten it down to a T where it's just like, forget it. We have people, convinced that men are women now and going along with it. That's how dumbed down society is. So I'll keep an eye on this. I just want to make people aware. Thank you for listening to today's show. Pray for the children out there that they're not corrupted by this. But unfortunately, there's parents who are Satanists who raise their children this way. And it's a real absolute disgrace as far as I'm concerned. I thank you again for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.